For the next block, again, it's a 6.5 inch line around the outer edge, and we're going to just draw 2 crosshair reference lines through the middle. I'm going to use the arc of our straight ruler, and I'm going to line that arc up on my diagonal line. I'm also going to make the 3rd row just touch the edge of the corner of the block. So I'm just going to move across a fraction. That way I've got a 1/2 inch from here to where this block is going to be cut off. We've brought our bobbin threads up and we're holding on to the tails, and we're going to sew around this curve. And this is going to give us a curve cross hatching. We're going to sew down on the outside of here. This is in our seam allowance, so it's just practice to get on that straight line. I'm going to now turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to move my template so that my curve is sitting on that straight line. I'm also going to align my center line here. That will give me 2 reference checks to make sure that I'm sewing in the correct position. So we'll line those all up and sew this one. And this will give us a 1/2 inch curved crosshatch. And we're taking it to the outer edge of the block, because when we cut this block down, we're not going to see a definite line of where we stopped. It's not going to come into play inside our block. Travel across again. We're travelling about about 1/2 inch up. We want to make sure that our curve line is touching the first line in, and we also want to make sure that our centre reference line is in place. By following these reference lines, you get a much nicer finish. We can line it up and be close and it'll show up. If we use our reference lines, we're going to have much prettier looking cross hatching. So we'll travel down, move our line back into place again, make sure our centre line is lined up as well, and we're just going to stitch across here. You can go at the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, where you feel comfortable. Remember, it's not a race. We don't have to go fast. The more you use rulers, you will probably pick up speed a little bit, but as I always say, this is not a race. This is supposed to be a leisurely sport. We're going to line that up again. Bring our ruler back a couple of foot back a couple of stitches. We're going to sew all 4 corners the same. We can go further out so that when they cross over, we can take it all the way as far as the ruler will let us go. This ruler is only 6.5 inches long, so it won't get us from corner to corner. So what we're going to do is, when we run out of ruler, we're going to go to the next corner and do the same thing. So I'll just finish this one off, and then we'll change to the next one. We finished sewing our lines, and we're going to travel up to the corner. We're going to also travel just across like we did with the first one. We were about 1 inch and a bit away, so we'll just travel across till we're close to that position. On the first one, we had our ruler, so our line was touching the corner, and we had the centre line in place. So we're going to do the same thing here. And this is what we're going to do for all 4 corners. Centre line touching on the corner, that line's touching there, and we'll just do more curved lines. Move the template back in line again, make sure you're in line, and make sure your centre line is in position. Travel along the outside edge. Line up again. This is where the cross-hatching comes into play now. These lines will cross over down here. Where they cross over creates a pattern, and that pattern is what we call cross-hatching.